The highest version of you does not spend $18 on an acai bowl. The highest version of you makes your own organic acai bowl at home. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making acai bowls that I like to refer to as goddess bowls. The journey to self-improvement can be rocky, but instead of completely rewiring who you are, how about we get an upgrade instead? Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Victoria, and today I'm going to talk to you about your highest self. This is a concept that's really helped me over the past couple months as I navigate some difficult, tricky things that have come up in my life. You may have heard people talk about this concept of the higher self or the highest self, and this is the version of you that is 100% self-actualized. This is a version of you that has done all the things that you want to do. So this version of you has already had a successful business or a family or done whatever, climb Machu Picchu or whatever the thing is that you want to do. That highest version of you has already done that. And actually quantum physics goes into this quite a bit. I don't know that I can do it justice explaining the quantum physics version. So I'll just stick with what I know. And that is the highest version of you is already in you. You are her. You are that person. So when I'm struggling with, for example, today, this morning, I was feeling kind of down. I didn't want to do this video. And quite frankly, I'd had a really long day yesterday. And so I pondered in my head, I thought to myself, you know, if I skipped today, I would be okay. I work for myself, so I could skip a day. But I made a commitment to myself to get a video out each week. And so I would really be breaking that commitment to myself. And then I thought to myself, the highest version of me would get up, get dressed, put some makeup on, and do the video. And so maybe asking yourself some questions about this highest version of you is going to help you too. Here are some to try and emphasize. So you might ask yourself, what does she or he do with their time? Who do they spend time with? What do they invest in for themselves, for their business? How would they show up for themselves? And a quick example of this is I decided that my highest self would not have a messy bathroom. So I took an afternoon, spent an hour, and deep cleaned my bathroom. And when I tell you I felt like a whole new person, it's because I really did. I felt like her, the highest version of me that has the clean, tidy bathroom and does not have old makeup hanging around. This highest version of you is already successful, already has resolved her trauma, already has overcome fears, and the result is success, happiness, wealth, love, peace, joy. Doesn't that sound lovely? And I'm actually kind of obsessed with this concept. And so every day I think about, what would the highest version of me do? What would she wear? What kind of clothes would she buy? What kind of vacations would she plan? I mean, I get really, really detailed. This is the goddess wisdom that's already within you. This is connecting with source, energy, the universe, the divine, whatever you call God. And this is where we find the answers to the questions that we have in our lives. And so tapping into this really is investing in yourself and saying that you are worth everything that you want. So what does this goddess eat? Well, let me tell you, she is not afraid to cook her own food. She makes foods from scratch, so she knows what she's eating. She doesn't eat anything processed. She gets the grass-fed beef. That earth mother sort of goddess energy is what we're going for here. So today I'm going to teach you how to make my goddess acai bowls. And it's kind of a joke that I say acai bowls because, or acai, however you say it, because here's the thing. Acai or acai, however you say it, is so dang expensive. And I get a lot of things from Costco because I have two boys in addition to my husband. They're eating all the time. It's more cost effective for us to go to Costco. To start out, I'm actually going to start by showing you how to make my goddess granola. I don't know about you, but I love acai bowls. But one question I always have is, how good do they pre-wash their fruit? Where do they source their fruit? I like to buy organic and things like that. So when I purchase something that's like $18 and I don't even know if any of the fruit is organic, it can be really hard for me to pay almost $20 for an acai bowl when you can make them so much more reasonably priced at home. We need to start with our Godess granola though, and that is what this is I make my own homemade granola, and then I keep it in jars like this because they're airtight. So keep it in an airtight container. And like I mentioned, the one question is oats or no oats. I like to include quinoa flakes in this recipe, and I'll put a link below so that you know where to buy quinoa flakes. I find that since it's quinoa, it's a little bit more protein in your nuts as well, but it gives it a good texture. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in the oven on a cookie sheet, and we're gonna cook it in 10-minute increments, and then you're gonna stir. You're gonna stir the nuts to make sure that they are not getting burnt. So I take the cookie sheet out of the oven, stir the whole thing, give it a little taste test, see if it needs some extra salt or something, and then put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. We're gonna do this about 3 times, or as toasty as you'd like your nut. The granola is the first step. The second step is our smoothie bowl part. I don't use actual acai in mine because it's so dang expensive. So I say take whatever kind of fruit is accessible to you, preferably organic because you know what's in it again. And buying frozen fruit can be the way to go, especially with bowls like these. So you can get wild blueberries at Costco, you can go organic strawberries at Costco. I'm gonna show you something else that I do. So here's a tip for you. I buy organic fruit and it's terribly expensive, but when it gets like these little blueberries, you could tell this is kind of soft and kind of squishy. Nobody wants to eat this because it's not at its prime anymore. I just take a Ziploc bag like this and I put all of that fruit in here. That's the perfect fruit to use for your acai bowls. I'm cutting up the rest of my strawberries, so these could be used for the top as long as they seem like they're in good shape. But this is still good usable fruit, and it's perfect to use for making your own acai bowl at home. You can develop your smoothie bowl, acai bowl, whatever you want to call it, in any number of different ways. Now, I like to add extra protein. So we can add, I have the shredded coconut from Thrive Market. I'll put my link below if you haven't tried Thrive Market before. I like it because you can purchase things there that are organic and they're a little bit different that sometimes you can't find at the grocery store. And this is just coconut. So we're gonna put our berries down first. So I have little sections here. So I have the coconut, the blueberry. So let's add a good amount of granola. I like to have a lot of crunch, so I'm gonna add roughly 2 handfuls. And you can always add whatever you would like to this too. If you want to add nut butter, I would add it in the phase where you're blending it because it's going to be easiest to have it blended with your fruit. And I like to use these little rice puffs. It gives it a different texture. Doesn't this look delicious? Like, wouldn't you love for someone to make something like this for you for breakfast? As you can tell, like, this is really customized to whatever you like to do. I'm so glad you could join me for learning how to make your own Godess acai bowl, and I want you to give yourself a giant pat on the back for not only leaning into this highest version of you, but also learning how to make something like this at home. And I have a special little treat for those of you who love affirmations. I actually love making affirmation decks, and this one is my The Goddess Within deck, and I'm gonna pull a couple affirmations just for you. A goddess transcends. It is time to rise above petty things that are not important. I love this. Okay, let's do one more. I allow others to care for me as I care for them. Isn't that a great reminder? That's probably for me. Anyway, if you love affirmations as much as I do, I have a whole series of affirmation decks. I have them on Etsy. You can get my Goddess Within deck. I also have a few others as well. So I think there's a Rich Bitch one. But they're just so fun to make, and they're such a great reminder that you can do anything. All right, my friends, thank you so much for spending time with me today. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with a friend who you think needs to know how to make their own goddess bowl.